In this video, we're going to talk about predictions. I will demonstrate for you a simple to do yet effective card prediction trick, and afterwards I'll teach you how it's done. But first, what is a prediction? Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. Basically, you have something like an envelope with a prediction in it. You have somebody, pick a card. Say, here's my prediction, and then you pick a card, and ooh, you have the three diamonds. Boom! In this envelope is the three of diamonds. Basically, that's a prediction. But let's be honest, that's not going to fool anybody. Because what you just demonstrated is a question. The question for the spectator is, how did he make me choose that card? I mean, that's not even a trick. It's basically saying, here, pick the card that I want you to pick. So let's go over some ways in which you can make this more effective and not sort of a puzzle. The first thing that you want to eliminate is announcing that you have a prediction. By stating at the outset, here, I have a prediction, and then we'll do something, and then it'll match my prediction. All you're doing there is wasting time. Because all the person's going to think about during the whole thing is, how is he going to make me pick that card? And so they're going to be watching more closely, and they're going to be on guard, and then every action you do will become suspicious to them. So by first keeping this a secret at the outset and not announcing a prediction at all, you've eliminated a major roadblock in the prediction effect. Another great way to enhance the effect of a prediction is by the use of a good hook or a presentation. Now, Simon Aronson, in his wonderful book, Art Deco, wrote a whole essay, a wonderful essay about predictions. And one little bullet point I'd like to read to you out of that essay is this. While presentation certainly ought to make a trick entertaining, it can also render it more deceptive by channeling how a spectator will think about it. So what he's saying there is, by clever hooks and lines in your presentation, you can make somebody think a certain way about what you're doing. Like I just showed you before, if you just simply said, hey, look, take a card, and it matches my prediction. That's not a strong hook, and that's not a presentation. So what are some ways we can do this? Simon Aronson briefly touched on this in his book Art Deco, but in Strong Magic by Darwin Ortiz, he really explained this theory thoroughly. And what that is called dramatizing conditions. So if the person might think at all that we caused this to happen, like we forced them to pick the card, we have to make them think that this was not possible through the use of the conditions that we set before them, whether that be having them shuffle the deck, having them cut anywhere, or whatever. Because they'll look back on it and say, wait, he couldn't have forced that because I shuffled the deck, I cut the deck. So 3 key factors in prediction effects. Secret hidden prediction, strong presentation, dramatizing conditions. Let's get into it. Okay, so here is a nice presentation that I like to use for a prediction. And after I demonstrate this effect, I'll teach you exactly how I did it. Okay, so what I would sort of say is this. The subject of foretelling the future or predicting the future has been a mystery for centuries. In fact, some would believe that it's just make-believe. All right, so I want to try something with you today to see what might happen. Okay, so if I ask you to just pick one of these cards like this, I don't want you to think that I had an influence on that decision, because that's not what this is about. All right, it's all about you today. All right, so what I want you to do is totally randomize this deck of cards. You do that by start dealing cards face down right here on the table. All right, so you give them the deck, and they do that. They start dealing cards face down like this, and then you tell them they don't have to come from the top. They can come from anywhere, and this is how you truly randomize the deck, because it's all up to them. They take cards from anywhere. anywhere. They can mix them around, whatever they want to do, as long as they're satisfied that this deck is random. All right, it doesn't matter if cards go face up, just as long as they're mixed up in random. All right, but that's not the only way to randomize a deck. Obviously, you can give it one of these shuffles. You can have cards flying everywhere like this. It doesn't matter. But one of my favorite ways to do is this. You take the deck like this and cut it anywhere you want over to here. So they do that, and you say, look, if we shuffle them together like this, there's no way anybody could have known or predicted what cards would end up on top and bottom, since you cut anywhere, you randomize the deck. But let's make it even more random. You can push them together like this, okay? So when you've done that, take the deck under the table, and what I want you to do is turn face up either the top or the bottom card. It's up to you, but don't let me see what you do. All right, so they do that. They take the deck under the table, turn over a card, and then put it in the middle somewhere. So when they come back up, there's no way anybody could have known what card that would have been, or certainly couldn't have predicted it. All right, so think about this. The deck was shuffled by you. You cut anywhere, and then we shuffle them together. Take either the top card or the bottom card, both of which nobody could have predicted beforehand. Now, sitting right here the whole time under my card box, I've had a little envelope the whole time. Inside of this envelope, I placed a card I have a strong feeling about this morning. That card is the Four of Clubs. Now, I don't know if you're one of those people that think foretelling the future is a make-believe, but if the card you turned over is the Four of Clubs, then you have to agree that there's something going on. Alright, so what you'll need for this effect is some kind of two-way out or multiple out system. You can either get one of these envelopes from magic stores, or you can just make one yourself like this, or you can have any kind of these wallets. This is the Orphic wallet. It works great for switching things multiple outs, or you can have a simple Himber wallet, ones from both sides for a two-way out, or you can use one of these Orphic, or not Orphic wallets, but Quiver wallets, two-way out system in there, or you can just have a simple Z-fold wallet like this that opens both ways for a multiple out. Either case, either thing you use for a two-way out system will work. If you don't have any of those things and you don't want to use like an envelope or a wallet, what you can do is just have, organic multiple out systems. In this case, you can set your lock screen as one of the cards, and you can put the other card inside of the card box. That way, you know which to reveal once the trick is over. All right, so one out is your phone, one out is the card box. If you are using the card box and you have the cards inside the box, a cool thing to do is this. Take the prediction out and put the cards in the box and close the flap. Next, you just slide the card in on top of that flap there like this. That way, when you go to take the cards out, that card just stays in there. And you do that by taking your index finger like this and grabbing hold of the card like this. And so when you open the box and dump the cards out, that one card just stays in there. Okay? But for today, I'll just be using this little envelope that I made here, and that'll just go under the card box, okay? So those will just be in your pocket, so when you pull the cards out, just put that there with it, like it doesn't matter. Somebody might see it, somebody might not, it doesn't matter, but you say nothing about it, okay? That's very important. So obviously don't say I have a prediction on my phone, but if you're using your phone, maybe take your phone out, act like you got a text message and just set your phone down to the side so it can be used for later. What you don't want to do is simply pull your phone out after the trick is done. It's best to have it on the table already so you can get to it, okay? Alright, so to prepare the deck, what you want to do is have your two force cards on top. In this case, my two cards are the Nine of Diamonds and the Four of Clubs. It doesn't matter what they are, just as long as you can remember them. Now, after the completion of their randomizer shuffle, the card that's on top of the deck will be the one that goes to the bottom after after everything that happens. All right, so having said that, what you want to do is put an identifying mark on the back of the top card. In this case, it would be my 4 of clubs. Just put a mark on it so you can know, you can identify it. Okay, so the 9 of diamonds is on top. The 4 of clubs is second from top, which will be our top card after there are shuffles. So the top card, in this case, our second from top card, you want to put a mark on it. Any kind of mark will do, a simple scratch mark with an X-Acto knife, or a blue Sharpie for a blue deck, a red Sharpie for a red deck, or a simple pencil dot. It doesn't matter, just as long as you can identify it without it being too obvious. Alright, so now, here's how you actually execute this effect. You want to start off by talking about something that relates to a prediction. In this case, we were talking about, foretelling the future has been a mystery for centuries. In fact, some people believe that it's just make-believe, and that's a pretty strong hook. And if the person is sitting in front of you, that the person you're doing this for doesn't believe in predicting the future, then that sort of relates to them, right? They can connect with that. So what you want to do is show them that all the cards are indeed different. But what you don't want to do is say, look, all the cards are different. It's a total normal deck. So instead, you can say something like this. So if I had you pick a card like this, I don't want you to think that I might influence your choice. And by doing this, saying I don't want to influence your choice by you picking a card like this, that shows them and tells them that they have a free choice and that the deck, all the cards are different. Now what you'll do is coach them through the Regulé deal and mix procedure, which looks like this. Since the 2 top cards are the only cards that matter, you ask them to start dealing cards face down on the table, and so they do. And after the first 2, they can literally do anything. All right, so you can ask them to take cards from the bottom, take cards from the center, from the top, it doesn't matter. Give them a little mix and keep doing that until you're totally satisfied that the deck is thoroughly mixed up and randomized. Okay, so after they do that, see, that's a great way to randomize the deck. You can do anything. You can give it one of these shuffles here, and that's a great way to mix cards. And you don't, with this shuffle, you don't want to put too much importance on it, and you don't want to draw too much attention to it. All you want to do here, and the reason for doing it, is to get the 4 of clubs to the top. Okay, and that's done with the slip shuffle. So after they do their whole thing, this will be our condition. 4 of clubs on bottom, 9 of diamonds at second from bottom. Oh, I'm sorry, this will be the condition. All right, so with your fingers, keep it there with the shuffle like this, and then shuffle off until you get to near the end, and then run singles like this until that one card goes on top, which is our 4 of clubs. Now, after you do that, you put the deck on the table and say, look, but one of my favorite ways to randomize the deck is this. And this is where you want to draw the most attention to and place the most importance on. Say, do me a favor, cut the deck anywhere over to here. And then they don't know what's about to happen, so you want to, they're kind of caught off guard, say, oh, I can cut anywhere. And then when they do, say like, and you might want to, pantomize doing this so they know what to do. All right, say, do me a favor, cut the deck about half over to here like this. And so they do that. Now, what you do is just shuffle them together, obviously keeping the bottom card where it is, and the top card goes last. All right, so you just do this. So the top card stays in place, and then the bottom card stays in place also. All right, but don't push it all the way. Just keep it like this, sort of telescoped. Say, look, now, had you cut anywhere else, the top and bottom cards would be totally different. And that's kind of true, but it's not really. It's kind of like a lie because you're controlling it. All right, so, but this is what I meant and what Darwin Ortiz and Simon Aronson meant about dramatizing conditions, right? So by having, by the way, you could have just done it yourself. You could look, we'll give it at the shuffle as well, so that nobody could know anything. And you can do that, but by doing this, you're dramatizing those conditions by having them do the cut and saying, you could have cut anywhere. And then when you do the shuffle, there's no way I could have known what the top card or the bottom card would have been because you cut anywhere. Had you cut anywhere else, they would be totally different. And trust me, they will remember that simple thing of them cutting the deck. But like I said, don't push them in all the way. Keep them telescoped like this. And then another convincer, another way you can dramatize the condition is this. Say, do me a favor. You can see all the colors are mixed. Do me a favor. Just push them in together with your hands like this. Really smush them together and mix those all up. All right. This does nothing. It just shuffles the cards. They were already shuffled, but by having them do it, it really feels like they're a part of the mixing procedure again. All right, so ask them to square it up, and at this point, after they do this whole thing, square them up, you don't want to touch the deck again. All right, the only time you touch the deck was when you did the riffle shuffle. All right, so by having them do this and then having them square it up, they'll remember that you didn't touch the deck, and then so after they do that, you ask them to take the deck under the table, which of course our bottom card and our top card is our force cards. Okay, so which the top card of Four of Clubs is marked. Okay, so you ask them to take the deck under the table, and you say, look, either the top card or the bottom card. Really think about it and really trust your instinct and go with your gut. What I want you to do is take either the top card or the bottom card and turn it upside down. So check this out. If they turn the top card face up and put it in the middle, and then when they put the deck forward on the table, you'll know it immediately because you won't see the mark. If, on the other hand, they do the bottom card like this, turn it face up and put it in the middle, and put the deck on the table, you'll also know it immediately that is the bottom card because you will see the mark. So let's say they do turn over the bottom card in this case. All right, so now you say, look, now I don't know if you believe in foretelling the future or predicting the future, but I did have an envelope this whole time sitting here, and inside of it I put a card that I had a feeling about, and the card is the Nine of Diamonds. All right, so if you spread that deck and you see that Nine of Diamonds, then there has to be something going on worth mentioning. So the reason why I like to put a Hember envelope under the card box is for two reasons. One is that it sort of gets it out of the attention, right? First and foremost, but also it's a nice subtle way to take it, right? So in this case, I knew my Nine of Diamonds would be the bottom compartment. So what I had to do here is just slide out the table like this and do that. Okay, so if it was the Four of Clubs, the top compartment, I simply do this, remove the box and open it, right? But since it was the bottom one, the Nine of Diamonds, I had to turn it over, obviously. So you do that by taking it like this. And either two ways is very convincing and totally natural. Alright guys, so as always, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to watch this video. It truly does mean the world to me. And so if you learned something new and if you got value from this video, do me a huge favor and hit that like button and sub to the channel. Until next time, happy practicing. I love you guys.